Hello everybody, welcome to EPG Patasala. I am Dr. M. Rajeshwari, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, Biotechnology and Bioinformatics, Avinash Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women. Now you have chosen to study the module Cell-Mediated and Humoral Mediated Immunity. Let us see what is immunity and different types of immunity. Immunity is a concern with recognition and disposal of foreign or non-self material that enters the cell body. Resistance to infection may be natural, that is inborn, or acquired as a result of adaptive immune response. Factors that confer natural immunity includes physical barriers, phagocytic cells and natural killer cells. All these factors are present prior to exposure to a particular infectious agent and respond non-specifically. In contrast, acquired immune response occurs only after exposure to foreign substance, that is antigen, which induces a specific immune response. Acquired immunity are of two types: T cell mediated immunity or cellular immunity, B cell mediated immunity or humoral immunity. In this module, you will be learning about these two different types of immunity. This module also deals with how naive T cells and B cells are activated and proliferated when they encounter their specific antigen for first time. We also learned the process of antigen presentation by antigen presenting cells and role of different types of receptors in T and B cell. After completing this module, you will be able to understand the concepts of T cell and B cell mediated immunity. Also, you will know the steps involved in the activation of T cell and B cell and proliferation in response to antigen. You also learn the difference between two types of immunity, namely cell and humoral mediated immunity. Let us see T cell mediated or cellular immunity. Cell mediated immunity is a defense mechanism against microbes that survive within a phagocytes or non-phagocytic cells. It is also involved in the aberrant recognition of self-antigen, which leads to autoimmune inflammatory diseases. Let us see the overview of the cell mediated immunity. The mature lymphocytes, known as naive T cells, circulate through the blood and lymphatic system. Naive T cells are those that have not encountered foreign antigen and have not been activated. Each T lymphocyte expresses a unique T cell receptor, that is TCR, on the surface as a result of developmental selection upon maturation in the thymus. Cell-mediated immune reaction begins with the processing of antigen by antigen-presenting cell. The recombinant variability of the individual T cell receptor, on the other hand, ensures that at least a few naive T cells will have a high affinity binding to an antigen peptide derived from virtually any pathogen. T cell receptor engagement triggers a cascade of intercellular signaling event resulting in the activation of naive T cell. The activated T cells rapidly proliferate, that is a clonal expansion, migrate through the tissue to the site of antigen presence and perform effector function such as cell-mediated cytotoxicity and production of various cytokines. Cytotoxic CD8 cells are very effective in direct lysis of infected bearing the antigen, while CD4 helper cells produce cytokines that can directly toxic to the target cell or can stimulate the other T cell effector function, namely B cell antibody production. Some of the effector T cell will remain after the elimination of the antigenic agent and form a memory T cell. Memory T cells may survive for years in lymphoid organ and peripheral tissue to recognize the antigen to which T cells have previously reacted and to mount more rapid subsequent response. Let us see the process of antigen processing and presentation. Recognition of foreign protein, that is antigen, by T cell requires the peptide derived from the antigen to be displayed within the cleft of major histocompatibility complex on the membrane of the cell. For the formation of these peptide MHC complex, antigen is degraded into peptide by a sequence of events called antigen processing. The degraded peptide then associates with MHC molecule within the cell interior, and the peptide MHC molecules are transported to the membrane, which are displayed, called as antigen presentation. During degradation, some antigenic fragments, that is peptides, are associated either with MHC class 1 molecule, that is those antigen are called as endogenous antigen, or either with MHC class 2, these antigens are called as a exogenous antigen. Let us see what is MHC complex. MHC is that is major histocompatibility, is a cluster of genes on human chromosome 6, and it encodes a set of membrane glycoprotein called MHC molecule. The MHC were originally identified based on their role in transplant rejection. They actually evolved to present foreign antigen to T cells. There are two classes of MHC molecule, namely class 1 and class 2, which differ in their structure and expression pattern on tissues of the body. Class 1 molecule encodes the class 1 molecule that are expressed on the surface of all the nucleated cells as a 2 polypeptide chain H and L. The H chain is coded by MHC gene and contains regions of sequence variability. The L chain, which is coded by chromosome 15 and shows no polymorphism. The H chain of this molecule alone form a peptide binding group. MHC class 2 genes encodes a structural glycoprotein found on B cells, macrophages and dendritic cells as well as the sperm and vascular endothelial cells. Class 2 MHC molecule are composed of two polypeptide chains, namely alpha and beta, which are encoded both by MHC gene. Both the alpha and beta chains of the class 2 MHC molecule contribute to the binding group. Class 1 MHC molecule bind peptides derived from the endogenous antigen that have been processed within the cytoplasm of the cell and are recognized by CD8 T cells. Class 2 MHC molecules bind to peptides derived from the exogenous antigen that are internalized by phagocytosis or endocytosis and processed within the endocytic pathway and are recognized by CD4 T cells. Let us see about what are antigen presenting cells and different types of antigen presenting cell. Most nucleated cells in the body display a peptide associated with class 1 MHC molecule to CD8, that is cytotoxic T cells. Although they are presenting antigen, these cells are not usually referred to as antigen presenting cell. If they are presenting antigen, that will cause them to be killed by cytotoxic T cells. Hence, they are referred as a target cells. Cells that display peptides associated with class 2 MHC molecule to a CD4 helper cells are called as a antigen presenting cells, APCs. There are three types of antigen presenting cells, namely dendritic cells, macrophages and B lymphocytes, which are called as a professional antigen presenting cells because they express both the T signals required for antigen presentation. Several other cell types, namely fibroblasts, glial cell, pancreatic beta cell, epithelial cell of thymus, thyroid and vascular endothelial cells are classified as a non-professional antigen presenting cell which can be induced to express class 2 MHC molecule or co-stimulatory signals. Now we are going to see the two pathways for processing antigen. That first one, let's see endogenous antigen processing, that is cytosolic pathway. The fragments of peptide that bind to class 1 MHC molecule are derived from virus that have infected host cell or unique protein synthesis of cancerous cell. Intracellular proteins are degraded into short peptides by a cytosolic proteolytic system present in all cells. These peptides targeted for proteolysis often attached with a small protein called ubiquitin. Ubiquitin protein conjugates can be degraded by multifunctional protease complex called proteasomes. Peptides generated in the cytosol by the proteasome are transported by a TAP translocator protein into the rough endoplasmic reticulum by the process that requires a hydrolysis of ATP. The alpha chain and beta 2 microglobulin component of the class 1 MHC molecule are synthesized on the polysomes along the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Assembly of this component into stable class 1 MHC molecule complex that can exist from the rough endoplasmic reticulum require the presence of peptide in the binding groove of class 1 MHC molecule. Peptides not bound by class 1 molecules are rapidly degraded. As a consequence of peptide binding, the class 1 molecules display increased stability and can exist from the endoplasmic reticulum and proceed to the cell surface via Golgi complex. T cell displaying a CD8 receptors, that is cytotoxic T cell, can recognize this peptide MHC1 complex and are said to be class 1 MHC restricted. These cytotoxic T cells can attack and kill cells and display the antigen MHC1 complex for which the receptors are specific. The second pathway is endocytic pathway. Exogenous antigen enter the cell by endocytosis or phagocytosis. Antigen presenting cell degrade the ingested exogenous antigen into smaller peptide within the compartment of the endocytic processing pathway. The endocytic pathways appear to involve three increasingly acidic components, namely early endosomes whose pH is 6 to 6.5, late endosomes or endolysosome whose pH is 5 to 6.0, and finally to lysosome, that is whose pH is 4.5 to 5. Internalized antigen move from early to late endosomes and finally to lysosomes, encountering a hydrolytic enzyme at a lower pH in each component. The class II MHC molecule are transported from rough endoplasmic reticulum, where they are formed through Golgi complex and trans-Golgi network and enter the endosomal pathway. There encounter and bind a pathogen-derived peptide. MHC class II peptide is transported into cell membrane. T cells displaying a CD4 recognize the antigen combined with the class II MHC molecule, and therefore they are said to be class II MHC restricted. Let us see what are the different types of receptors involved in the T cell mediated immunity. First one is a T cell receptor. T cell receptors are the cell surface receptors that bind a non-self substance, that is antigen, on the surface of other cells. T cell receptors do not react with soluble antigen but rather with a processed antigen bound to self MHC molecule. The TCR, that is a T cell receptor, is not secreted and remain bound throughout the activation process. T cell receptor is composed of a 2 polypeptide chain, namely alpha chain of 40 to 50 kilodalton and a beta chain of 35 to 46 kilodalton. Each of these glycoprotein is made up of a constant and variable region. The variable region of alpha and beta chain constitute the antigen binding site. In the thymus, those T cells that express a TCR that bind weakly to self-MHC are positively selected, whereas those TCR that bind to self-MHC very strongly are eliminated. This process is called as a negative selection. The T cell receptor always forms a complex with the CD3, forming a TCR-CD3 complex. The external domain of the CD3 are similar to the immunoglobulin fold, which facilitate their interaction with the T cell receptor and each other. The long cytoplasmic tail of the CD3 chain contains a common sequence, that is immunoreceptor tyrosine based activation motif ITAM, which function is to do signal transduction. Let us see the mechanism how the T lymphocytes are activated. The mature T cells encounter peptide MHC complex as they circulate through the paracortex of lymph nodes. Initial recognition of the processed antigen by T cell via the T cell antigen receptor. Accessory molecules provides additional linkage between the APC and T cells to strengthen their cellular association. Co-receptors such as CD4 and CD8 assist the TCR signal by binding to the constant regions of a class II and class I molecule respectively. In addition to engagement of these ligand receptor pair, additional adhesion molecules, integrins, is also engaged. These include intracellular adhesion molecule ICAM and lymphocyte function associated antigen LFA. Ligation of the TCR on its own does not stimulate a T cell clonal expansion, lymphokine production. For the full activation of antigen specific T cell, it requires two signals. The signal 1 is provided by the engagement of T cell antigen receptor, and signal 2 is a engagement of a co-stimulatory molecule. The best characterized co-stimulatory molecule is a B7, which is on many APCs, that is antigen presenting cell, and bind to CD28 on T cells. Signals emanating from TCR CD28 synergize to induce a T cell lymphokine production and T cell proliferation. If the T cell receives a signal 1, that is a TCR binding alone, or not a signal 2, that is a co-stimulation, or the T cells will not be turned off. Proliferation of the naive mature T cell is ultimately dependent on the stimulation with interleukin 2, which is the master regulator of T cell proliferation. Following the proliferation, T cell differentiate into effector cells, namely T helper cell or cytotoxic T cells. There are two kinds of CD4 helper cells, namely Th1 and Th2, with two different functions. Each develops from uncommitted T helper cells from initial contact with microbe. The T helper cells are predominantly involved in mediating inflammatory response, whereas Th2 cells are primarily involved in the induction of a humoral immunity. Depending on the microbe, the immune response will skew differentiation of CD4 T cells in the direction of T helper 1 cell or T helper 2 cells. Extracellular organism produce a T helper cell response which promotes antibody formation, whereas intracellular organism produce a T helper 1 response. The cytotoxic CD8 T cells migrate throughout the body's tissue searching for the cells which display a peptide MHC1 complex that their T cell receptor recognize. Because the peptides displayed on MHC1 are derived from the degradation of cytosolic proteins, recognition of microbial peptide on cells MHC1 indicate that cell is infected. Response of the CD8 T cells is to release various cytotoxic molecules which kill the target cells. Let us see the next class of immunity, that is acquired immunity, that is a B cell mediated immunity or humoral immunity. Humoral immune response involves the production of large quantities of antibody following a B cell activation. Humoral immune response play an important role in the primary defense against extracellular bacterial pathogen. Antibodies that coat bacteria or other particulate antigen can function as opsonin to promote phagocytosis. The many bacteria that causes infectious disease in human multiply in the extracellular space of the body, and most intercellular pathogens spread by moving from one cell to another cell through extracellular fluid. The extracellular space are protected by the humoral immune response, in which antibodies produced by B cell cause the destruction of extracellular microorganism and prevent the spread of intracellular infection. After formation on the bone marrow, B cells are exported to the periphery for the activation and proliferation following contact with the antigen. The activation of the B cells and their differentiation into antibody secreting plasma cell is triggered by antigen and usually requires helper T cell. The activation of B cells needs the help of T cell in case of T dependent antigen and may not require the help of T cells in case of T independent antigen. Helper T cells also control the isotype switching and have a role in initiating somatic hypermutation of the antibody variable region. Antigen derived activation and clonal selection lead to conversion of effector cells secreting antibodies or memory cells. Besides elimination of a foreign substance, humoral immunity participate in the mechanism of pathogenesis of immediate hypersensitivity reaction and autoimmune diseases. There are three ways how the antibodies contribute to immunity. First one, to enter the cell, viruses and intercellular bacteria bind to the specific molecule on the target cell surface. Antibodies that bind to the pathogen can prevent this process and are said to be neutralize pathogen. Neutralization by antibody is also important in preventing bacterial toxin from entering the cells. Antibodies also protect against bacteria by coating the surface of the pathogen to enhance the process of phagocytosis. This is called as a opsonization. But there is third way, that is alternatively, the antibodies can bind to the surface of the pathogen which activate the proteins of the complement system. Complement activation results in the binding of the complement proteins to the pathogen surface, and these opsonize the pathogen by binding complementary receptors on phagocytosis. Other complement components recruit the phagocytic cells to the site of infection, and the terminal component of the complement can lyse a certain microorganism directly by forming a pores in their membranes. We will see what is antibody. Antigen-specific proteins produced by plasma cell belong to the immunoglobulin family or called as an antibody. It is also referred as immunoglobulins. They circulate in the body and are associated with the gamma globin fraction of the plasma. Antibodies have a basic unit of 4 polypeptide chain, 2 identical light chain and 2 identical heavy chain. These light chains and heavy chains are bound together by covalent disulfide bridges as well as by non-covalent interaction. These molecules can be proteolytically cleaved to yield 2 fragments, namely FAB fragment and an FC fragment. The FAB fragment is the antigen binding part of the molecule and FC fragment is a part of the molecule responsible for effector functions, namely complement activation. Both the heavy chains and light chains are divided into 2 regions, that is a variable and constant region. The variable region contains the antigen binding site and the constant region determines the fate of the antigen. There are 5 classes of antibody, namely IgG, IgA, IgM, IgD and IgE. Now we are going to see what are the different types of receptors involved in a humoral mediated immunity. The first one is a B cell receptor complex. The receptor for antigen on the B cell is immunoglobulin. Initially it may be a IgM or IgD, which are displayed on the surface of the mature B cell. These immunoglobulins are transmembrane molecule, although cytoplasmic domain of each one is only 3 amino acid long, too short to signal the cell when antigen binds to the antibody. However, this membrane-bound immunoglobulin is associated with two other polypeptides on the B cell, namely Ig-alpha and Ig-beta. Ig-alpha and Ig-beta are small molecular weight transmembrane molecule that are the signaling molecule for the BCR. When IgM, IgD are cross-linked by binding to the antigen, Ig-alpha and Ig-beta transduce the signal which begin to prepare the cell for productive interaction with the T helper cell. Ig-alpha and Ig-beta along with immunoglobulin forms a B cell receptor complex. Next is a B cell co-receptors. There are various types of B cell co-receptors depending upon the type of signaling, namely CD21, that is a complement receptor 2, CD32 and CD19. Now we are going to see how the B cells are activated and proliferated. The activation and proliferation of B cell depends upon the type of antigen, whether it is a T independent antigen or T dependent antigen. Now we are going to see how T dependent antigen activates a B cell. B cell receptors has two roles in B cell activation. First, it transmits the signal directly by the cell's interior when it binds the antigen. Second, the B cell receptor delivers the antigen to intracellular site where it is degraded and returned to the B cell surface as a peptide bound to MHC class II molecule. The peptide MHC class II complex is recognized by helper T cell. This specific interaction leads to the expression of B cell stimulatory molecule CD40 on the helper T cell surface and to the secretion of various cytokines, namely IL-4, IL-5 and IL-6, which induces the B cell to undergo a number of important modifications, namely somatic hypermutation, affinity maturation and isotype switching. Thus, the selected B cell will differentiate either into memory cell or into a plasma cell. Let's see what is the detailed process of affinity maturation. The process of affinity maturation allows the activated B cell to significantly improve the affinity of their B cell receptor for the antigen. B cells begins to intensely mutate the antigen binding pocket of their antibody gene in a process known as somatic hypermutation. Mutated antibodies are expressed as a B cell receptor and are tested for increasing affinity to the microbial antigen. Those B cells whose B cell receptor display increasing affinity are maintained, induced to proliferate and undergo further round of somatic hypermutation, while those B cell receptor loses the affinity are instructed to die. The end result of this process is known as affinity maturation. It is a population of B cell which synthesizes the antibody with a significantly higher affinity to the microbial antigen. Next is isotype switching. Thorough mechanism that are currently is not very clear about isotype switching. B cells are induced to switch the isotype of their antibody following affinity maturing. Isotype switching is also known as class switching, appear to require stimulation of CD40 receptor on the B cell by CD40 ligands present on the CD4 T cells. In most cases, B cells are instructed to switch isotype to IgG. However, immune response to mucosal antigen generally result in a isotype switching to IgA. In few cases, isotype switching to IgE occurs, and this is an important step in the sequence of events that leads to allergic reactions and type 1 hypersensitivity. Affinity maturation and isotype switched B cell undergo one of the two pathways of differentiation. Some differentiate into antibody secreting plasma cells while others differentiate into memory cell. Plasma cells are specialized type of B cells which secrete enormous amount of the antibody. Differentiation of large number of microspecific plasma cell during successful humoral immune response result in high concentration of antimicrobial antibodies within the plasma. These antibodies bind the organism and either directly interfere with microbial proliferation, direct the other immune cells to phagocytosis and destroy the bound microbe. Memory B cell do not secrete antibody, they likely roam the body primed to re-encounter their specific antigen. The antigen is re-encountered, these memory B cells immediately proliferate without aid of T helper cells and begin secreting their highly specific affinity matured antibody. Thus, because of the memory B cells, the entire process of affinity maturation can be skipped following a reinfection, saving several days. Although B cell responds to most antigen requires a T cell, some of activation of B cells by certain antigen does not require a T helper cells. Those antigens are called as a T independent antigen. For the most part, these B cells recognize and respond to T independent antigen and produce primarily a IgM antibody of low affinity. T-independent antigens are classified into two types, T-independent antigen 1, which are lipopolysaccharides, T-independent 2 antigens are polysaccharides, glycolipids and nucleic acid. T-independent antigens are directly stimulated B cells without the requirement of any other cell. At low concentration, gram-negative bacterial lipopolysaccharide stimulates the specific antibody production, but at higher level it acts as a polyclonal B cell activator, stimulating the growth and differentiation of the most B cells without binding to the membrane receptor. The response to T-independent antigen consists largely of IgM antibody of low affinity, do not have significant heavy chain class switching or affinity maturation or memory. To conclude, in this module, we have seen the different types of immunity, namely adaptive and non-specific immunity. And also we have seen the different types of adaptive immunity, namely B cell mediated immunity and cellular mediated immunity, that is a T cell mediated immunity. In this module, we have also seen the mechanism of activation of B cell on T cell on encounter with antigen, and also how the activation of these cells lead to the formation of effector T cells and plasma cells which eliminate an antigenic agent. Some of these T cells and B cells will form a memory cells. Memory cells may survive for years in a lymphoid organ and peripheral tissues to recognize the antigen to which T cells and B cells have been previously reacted. And also we have seen what are the different types of receptors in both cellular mediated immunity as well as a humoral mediated immunity. And also we have seen the detailed mechanism how the antigens are processed and presented. We have seen the two ways how the antigens are processed, that is endocytic pathway and cytosolic pathway.